When are you dropping the album?
We're looking at, what, September, right?
Yeah, we're looking at late August to September, you know, and, you know, when it comes, man, we really did our homework, brother. We just dug back into our roots, you know what I mean? Yep. And it's, you know, you gotta realize this is a new funk and soul hip hop band. So we are an actual band.
Yep.
And, yeah. We got some goodies for you.
Sonically, when you hear what we're doing, it's more of a band feel, but it's just as hard as anything I've produced with Above the Law. I produced 14 tracks. Kokane did like a phenomenal job lyrically. The pen, everything is off the chain. We didn't leave no stone unturned, but our approach is more of a music approach than overall. You know what I'm saying? It's not just that one genre where, I mean, lyrically we went crazy on it. You know what I'm saying? You know, sonically it's more of a band feel, but you will feel that it's next level of what we say is G-Funk, the new era. You know what I mean? So it's taking us to another level with it. You know, it's like, we don't like to say that, we like to say we've evolved with the sound. The sound has evolved to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, what's crazy is Eazy-E, by telling you guys, you know, we sound like this, you know, maybe you should sound differently. Inadvertently, he kind of helped motivate a little bit of the G-Funk himself, not even knowing.
Absolutely. Yeah, because he was a more, you know, Eazy, the great thing about Eazy was, like, say, for instance, like, you know, when I first had bought Kokane to Ruthless, he was like, you know, dude is kind of like this and dude is kind of like that. He said, well, how you going to put that lightning in the bottle? But when I put it in the bottle, he was like, okay, let's run with it. Let's run the play. He never was a person that was like, because it was different than what he was doing, he didn't back it. You know what I mean? He always championed being different. So for me, when he said that, it's like, yeah, you know, cause he said he wanted two major groups, like in the history of rock and roll. If you say he wanted the Beatles and the Rolling Stones at the same label, that's how he looked at N.W.A. and Above the Law. You know what I mean? So he said, you got to have your own sound. Although we came in, we had our own sound with it. And like Hustle, he was like, stay on that. You know, don't try to fit in to what's going on, you know, or try to be like us. Try to be like y'all, because that's what he wants. So he championed that, you know. Anything I bought to the table, he championed that. It's funny, you know, shout out to Bone 31. I remember when Bone came to the label, and at that time I was Eazy-E's liaison, and he was like, yeah, they kind of do this, they kind of do that. It's like they kind of sing and rap. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're really, he's like really sing. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. You know what I mean? I got to hear how it play out, and look how brilliant it was. And he backed their play on it. He didn't say like, oh, I want them to be like us, like what we were doing at the time, because we was winning at the time. You know, Ruthless had a lot of success at that point. Even if you look at even after Dre and them left, you know, we still had a lot of success. You know,
platinum plaques, everything.
Yeah, so when he bought in, because we had our biggest record after he left, so which was Uncle Sam's Curse. So, but when he said that, it reminded me of what he told me before, like how he's like, man, just do you, man. I want you to do you. I'm gonna back your play, and he always did. You know, it didn't matter if it wasn't what he thought it should be or what it was all about. You doing you, and I'm gonna back your play, because he respected talent. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, he'll tell you, he'll be like, man, I ain't no rapper. I'm just a good idea that worked. You know what I mean? So he never considered. He said, y'all the ones who make this shit work like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's how visionary.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah. What was your first impression of Eazy Kokane? You were just a young kid meeting this platinum rapper from Compton.
Well, shoot, I heard him, you know, Boys in the Hood, you know, the posse is, you know, in 87 and 88. And, you know, that's when I reconnected with my cousin. And I go, you know, it happened in Pomona, California. I go walk in, like, you know, 88, 89. And I see Hutch, you know, with a group called Above the Law. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I see the numbers at the bottom. You know, the old school when they had the numbers at the bottom. And I was like, oh, they with that dude Eazy. Because I was like, you know, when I heard Easy, you know, I like Pool, King T, you know what I'm saying, Mixmaster Spade. But when I heard them, you know, I heard N.W.A, I was like, oh, that's that shit. But when I found out my cousin Hutch was KOKANE, it blew my mind, my dude. And it was like, and Hutch told me, you know, at that time I was called J Golden. J Golden. My grandmother named me that because I got funny color eyes. So that's what Granny did. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Granny.
But I seen he was with Eazy, and I was like, oh, shit. So he took me in the room, Hutch, and said, man, you know, we doing this hardcore shit. You know, shit that they've been doing.
Right.
But things evolve.
Yeah.
Hold on right there, guys. Somebody's trying to call me in the middle of this thing.
Oh, that's okay. No idea.
Yeah, but things evolved, so I did a 3-song demo with Hutch and Pomona.
Yeah.
And at that time, of course, was with Laylaw, who had a production company called Law House Production.
Shout out Laylaw.
Shout out to Laylaw. So we signed through that. And Hutch and Laylaw took my demo to Eazy, and, you know, Eazy felt, you know, the same way Hutch felt. Because, you know, in my humble opinion, I think, you know, I don't care who your greatest basketball star is. Just take Kobe and Jordan. Everybody needs Phil Jackson. Hutch was my Phil Jackson. So when he introduced me, I got a chance to meet Eazy, and Eazy just fell in love with the sound and fell in love even more with the direction that Hutch was bringing to the table, because Hutch was already there, man. You got to remember, Eazy took us the only N.W.A tour they had in London. So we was like young, like damn, this was like Living Like Hustlers was out.
Yep.
We were already working on our stuff, so it just drew us closer. And just Eazy was one of a kind, man. He was something to learn from. So much wisdom, so much charisma, calmness, practical joker. But he gave a fuck, you know. Everybody liked to speculate and interpolate the way it should be. But we were disciples of Eazy. Like, really in the paint with him. And it felt good that he never made you feel like a $2 bill. He made you feel like, hey, we on the same level, my dude. If it's funky, man, I'm running with that shit.
Yep.
And see, Eazy gave a fuck about his people.
Yeah, the foundation he laid is amazing. Shout out to the homie Sergio and the Disciples of E project that he put out. You guys, of course, were on that very dope project. You know, he's one of the people that helped keep his name alive when you didn't hear much about him no more. You know, there was a period you could, I think, the website was down.
A lot of times what happens in nowadays, what people don't know is the greatest thing back then was you didn't have all of these outlets. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when someone said they sold platinum, double platinum back then, that's like defying the laws of gravity, you know. And what we all were doing at a young age, early teenagers, early adults, we were selling multi-platinum records with no radio, with no, you know, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of record sales with no radio. So that's stuff that people can't even do now with a social media tool, or, you know, with technology how it is now. You had to bang that pavement. You had to follow them tour buses. You had to do those domino parties and those shady clubs and, you know, and all that in order to just get recognized. You know, for real, you had to go to the high schools and the colleges and beat the heat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's, you know, it's for Eazy to reach those levels that he reached at that time. That was an incredible feat. You know what I mean? So we have to give it up to Eazy-E no matter what, because he came up at a time where even out on the West Coast, it wasn't a lot going on for us on the West Coast. So we have to give it up to him. We have to give it up to him as being the godfather of West Coast rap, gangster rap, whatever you want to call it, because it used to be reality rap, because he was the person that made everybody look at us serious in business, in quality music. You know, before that, it's kind of like they looked at us like, oh, yeah, it's that fast space music or whatever it was, because back then there wasn't a lot until like the King T's came and Ice-T, shout out to Ice-T, you know what I mean? All those things. But when Eazy came, it was more when Eazy came, he had a plan to make it be like a powerhouse situation. Ruthless was a powerhouse in 1989. It had the D.O.C. Shout out to D.O.C., one of the greatest rappers that ever rapped. You know what I mean?
Shout out to J.J. Fad.
Yeah, shout out to J.J. Fad, because they the ones who built the label. You know what I mean? So they opened the doors, they kicked the doors down. You know what I mean? So for us, Miss L.A., so for us, if you look at that roster from J.J. Fad all the way up to Above the Law and Cocaine, that's a powerful roster between 1988.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, like, comment, share. Also go over to OGFlife.com, download the entire archive, and check out new episodes on Apple Podcasts and Blog Talk Radio.